Today I thought I would bring you along to show you what I do to get ready for a YouTube video. A lot of times I spend thinking about the process of making the video that I actually forget to make it. So I'm just gonna keep it simple. So the things that I'm doing to get prepared for this video, or for any video for that matter, obviously is my hair. It is a major ordeal because I'm an outdoor person. I'm constantly in the yard. I like to go to the gym, and my hair wreaks havoc on the element. It does not hold up. So on days when the Texas heat just hits it, I have no choice but to put on a baseball cap. Or sometimes, tricks of the trade, I know what to do to make myself presentable. Aside from that, I'm an artist. So I pay attention to the camera lighting, the colors. I know what looks good on camera. My clothing, I like to be comfortable as opposed to just being overly polished when I don't need to be. Today, I came prepared with just a t-shirt and blue jeans. What I typically do is that I like nice things. I like nice clothes. And nice clothes doesn't mean expensive. I like to get dressed, and I present myself as an overly confident person. I'm an extrovert. However, standing in front of this camera is not anything natural for me. I'm also setting up for the camera where I'm going to be sitting, the microphone, the batteries are charging, just testing the frame to see whether everything is in place. So confidence obviously plays a major role in being able to speak comfortably in front of the camera. And there are a lot of moving parts that require attention when getting ready to film. I would love to say that I'm one of those people that have index cards, notes. I do have some bullet points of things that I want to talk about. However, before you get to see the finished product, I have practiced those talking points like 100 times over. So frustrating. If I was having a normal conversation with someone, totally different process. So why is it so difficult for me to be able to just stand here and have a normal conversation with a camera? Nobody is interrupting me. I'm just talking naturally, so I think. But yeah, it's all about a learning process, which I'm getting to. So the mental part that nobody sees. I'm learning that confidence starts before I hit record and not after. Wondering if I said everything that I wanted to say, if I forgot something that I needed to say. While I'm getting ready, I'm also thinking through the video in my head, how I want to start, what I really want to say, and what I probably don't need to include. The opening is usually the part I think about the most, so I'll say the first few lines out loud a couple of times. I'm not trying to memorize them, I just want them to sound like me. When I really sit down in front of the camera, I want to be as organic as I possibly can. I also have to remind myself to relax and stop putting so much pressure on getting everything right the first time. I'm probably going to stumble over a couple of words or lose my train of thought, And that's okay. I can pause, start again, and edit it later. Before I record, I'll try to remove as many distractions as I can. I silence my phone, close anything I don't need, and I keep my water and notes close by so I'm not constantly getting up, interrupting the flow. I'm also thinking about the energy I want the video to have. Some videos need a little bit more excitement, while others feel better when they're calm and thoughtful. Sometimes the hardest part isn't deciding what to say, it's deciding how I want someone to feel after watching it. One other lesson I'm learning is to imagine one person on the other side of the camera instead of thinking about everyone who might eventually be watching. That helps me relax and speak more like I'm having a real conversation. It also reminds me that I don't have to sound overly polished. I just need to communicate clearly and be myself. I'm also reminding myself not to rush through every thought. Leaving a little silence gives me time to breathe, gather my words, and make the editing process much easier later. Those small pauses may feel long while I'm recording, but they usually make the final video feel calmer and more natural. Okay, now that I'm ready, let's figure out where we're going to be filming. The first decision is usually where am I going to film? Because I'm thinking about the lighting, the sound, and the overall mood of all those little details that help me set the tone for my video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put my camera on, and I'm going to film myself in this room and set my camera up probably about right here. And then let me turn on some lights. We have this natural light, which there's a lot of light that's coming through that window. I'm going to move this out of the way just quickly. Maybe shift the chair about right here. And what I want to do, let me push this back just a little bit more. Okay. I know this seems like a lot to get set up for my first video, but what I'm trying to accomplish is being near an area where I can get some natural light, because I do have a lot of dark spots in my home and not a lot of natural light. This may be a lot of natural light, but however, we're going to work with it. And then what I'm thinking about doing is possibly putting a light over here to get, let's just say, we have a lot of light here, and there's a lot of shadow on this side of my face. So before I get started, I'm going to check and make sure my camera is leveled. Testing 1, 2 with the mic, and then possibly just go back and make sure my settings are correct. So I just positioned the camera at a different angle just to see what the lighting would look like. But what I'm trying to accomplish is having adequate amount of lighting, having some natural light, which is good to face towards the light, but I have an artificial light here on the floor, so this is what I'm trying to adjust, is the lighting in the room, so that I can determine whether or not this is a good angle for me to shoot my videos. Oh, this is also part of the setup, adjusting the camera, making sure that everything is final. Let's see, everything's okay. Sit down, take a sip of water. and action. So that is the part that you don't get to see behind the scenes, is how I'm getting ready to be able to film my YouTube video. Exciting. Okay. Creating something new or waiting for something new to happen, then this would be oops. Build confidence and explore all the avenues that life has in store for me. So this is the part behind the scenes where I'm just taking a deep breath, collecting my thoughts. I feel like I'm going on a job interview. This should be so much more relaxing and natural, which it is. This is a process that I'm actually adjusting to. So here we go. So if you're creating something new, or you're trying to learn something new, or simply just waiting until you're ready, sometimes ready is simply means deciding to begin, which is where I am. And this is what beginning looks like for me. Thank you for coming behind the scenes with me and seeing everything that happens before I press record. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join me as I continue learning and creating along the way. Until next time.